I build in Minecraft, and usually I build one style at a time in my builds, but today I'm going to be building 7 different styles at once. Let's get started. Alright, so I just created a new world, and obviously it's not my world because this build is going to be absolutely horrendous, but let's get started. I won't have a plot or anything, I'll just build the build. So the first style I'm going to say is medieval. Let's get started on that. Starting off, I'm going to make a stone support. This would be one corner. And now I'm going to add the details, so mossy stone bricks and stone. That's looking pretty good. I think that might be the entire stone part, actually. Next, I'm going to add supports. And I don't know how tall I want this. Nice. Next, I'm going to go out a block with the supports. And then build up with spruce. I guess it looks pretty good, but we can delete this actually and add slabs. Sorry, I meant stairs, but you get it. Yeah, that looks much better. Now I'm going to add some windows. Now I'm going to add a little bit of stairs. Yeah, you can barely see that, but that looks good. Now on this side. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to try with a roof. Yeah, that looks decent. Now we can texture it. Alright, that looks fine. Some finishing touches can be adding foliage down here. And maybe adding some vine thing draping up. Alright. I think that is the medieval house done. I changed my mind. I'm adding 2 small little chimneys. And I think that's the medieval house done. Now, I'm going to do a modern house. Alright, starting off, I'm going to go a block behind and build up like a weird shape thing that you see in most modern houses. That's what I meant by that, and don't worry, it will look weird, but all the styles together is just gonna look cool, even if it looks pretty bad. I'm actually gonna put this a block forward. Yeah, that looks much better for what I want to go for. Next, I'm gonna go a block back and build out probably this, no, never mind, this much. And then go back a little bit, because this is the other corner. Alright, I did it, and I made sure to build it a block lower, because that's what McDonald's does, and McDonald's is cool. Now I'm going to fill this in. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do what I did over there, but build it out a block so I can, add depth, and depth is also cool, just like McDonald's. Nice, that looks pretty good. Next, because I can't get enough depth, I am going to build this outer part, because outer parts are also cool, like McDonald's in depth. Alright, there we go. That's an outer part. Now I'm just going to add a trim, because trims are also cool, like McDonald's outer parts in depth. There we go. That's pretty good. And I'm also going to build a pool up here, because pools are also cool. I'm not going to use fences. What am I doing? I'm going to use glass panes instead, because glass panes look modern. Nice. Now it's time for a pool, and I'm going to use quartz for this. Yeah, that's just simple. Alright, to finish this off, I'm going to add some plants. Alright, that is the modern part of this done, and it looks pretty good. Actually, I forgot one key detail, and it's windows, because modern houses have a lot of big windows. Alright, that is the modern house done. This actually looks really cool, and I like the styles colliding. Now, it is time for a Japanese-style house. Okay, here you can see me starting the Japanese building, adding the base, and then afterwards adding the dark oak stuff. This took some time, but I got it. Then I added mangrove, which eventually ended up unseen, which I actually like it like that because it looked hideous. I made this kind of tall, but who knows. Then I added a deep slate trim. And I extended the base, and I started adding these mangrove thingies. Along with trapdoors. Looking really cool, I know. Then I started with the roof. And this looks pretty cool, I know. I went very close to the reference image I showed. So yeah, that's the roof basically. Then I started adding lanterns hanging. Then I added signs and banners. And here is the finished product. Throughout trying so much, I could not get the next time lapse in, but I built these boxes and then I detailed them. Sorry, I tried, but now it's on to the next style. Okay, for the next style, I got inspiration from this person, and the build looks kind of a little bit tropical to me, so I'm going to take this idea and put it more tropical. So let's get started. Okay, starting off, this person made oak and jungle supports, so I'm going to try that. Yeah, that looks okay. Alright, I finished that. That looks much more supported. Now we can start on the building itself. Alright, this person did jungle, and I think strips jungle, so I'm going to do that. Alright, next this person did a spruce trim, and then they did a mix between the mangrove and the brick and granite. Alright, that is the roof done, and this build looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to do some scaffolding windows. Actually, I'm going to do what they did instead for the windows, and you'll see. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Now it's time for that palm tree. I'm also going to build another one over here. Alright, these are my two palm trees. They look pretty good. Now it's time for the next style. Alright, next I'm making a Greek building, temple thing. Not because I just had a history project on Greek temples. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to put some music on because this is boring to talk about because it's all white. Alright, here is the temple, and it looks really cool from most angles. My only flaw is it's a little tall, but over here is the main angle you'll see it from anyways. So, I think it's good, and I think it actually fits in quite nicely. Now, it's time for the final style. Alright, for the final style, I'm going to make a small, or at least try to make a small little cave over here, and make a little hobbit house sticking out. So let's get it started on that. Alright, here's my little cave with the hobbit house. I think it looks actually really cool. And we'll do the interiors right now for all of these buildings. So I'm going to show you the final product right now.